So yeah, it's like we should all focus on our strengths, not too much on our weaknesses. So when I was about to give the comic book example or the superhero example, it's like how you have some Marvel characters who are super strong with not too much intelligence, because that's not their strong point. Their strength is a strong point. They have a little bit of energy projection, they have a little bit of fighting skills. Then you have another character who has very little, strength, has very little fighting skills, maybe a little bit of energy, but a whole lot of intelligence. It's like, whatever your strengths are, that is what you should maximize. And that's how you become like a real life superhero in a sense. If you feel like you're a loser, this is what you should do. You should see yourself as in training to become a superhero. And I know this sounds really corny and cheesy, and some of you are still gonna say this is cope. Yes, we are coping. Yes, we are coping. Okay, Chad is the one who has the advantage in terms of physicality and attractiveness. Those are his powers. Okay. Stacy has the advantage in physicality and attractiveness. She can use her physicality to bring Chad over to kick your incel ass. Okay? And, Chad might not always be super strong, but he may have a better mental fortitude. That doesn't mean that he's super intelligent, but, he may have other strengths. And if you don't have the best face, okay? You consider yourself an incel because you don't have the best face. Well, okay, you could if you're strong, if you're naturally strong, why not work on that? A woman can still find that attractive, your physical strength and attributes and stuff like that. They can still find that attractive. And you don't want to just do this solely for women. There's more to life than just getting laid. Like I know when people talk about biology, they want to talk about, the primary goal in life is to reproduce. I mean, it's like that may be the primary goal, but it's not like we as living organisms, that's all we care and think about. It's like that's not always what matters to us. Just because you're someone who can't reproduce doesn't mean that you don't matter in a sense. Or has a difficult time, with reproduction. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're worthless. There's a lot that we don't know. This world is very mysterious. I mean, people, people want to talk about conspiracies, but they'll still lean on mainstream knowledge to back their theories up. It's like there's so much that we don't know. And you're probably more special than you realize. So yeah, if you're a guy who struggles going to the gym and your body image is not really what you care about, maybe you care about health a little bit, maybe you do care about your health, that's probably a sign of intelligence to care about your health. Yeah, maybe you should focus on your intelligence, and maybe doing the bare minimum with your physical training, maybe that's just good enough. So you don't have to do these long workout sessions. You can just have like maybe 20-30 minutes every 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, if that's really what you want. And if your passion is boosting your brain power, and if you're just a nerd, if you're a science nerd, tech nerd, just boost that field of knowledge. Yeah, I know you guys are gonna call this cope, and you're probably right. Okay, at the end of the day, do you really want to just 5-10 years from now, you're still alive, you really just want to mope around about blackpill knowledge? I mean, it's like, we're all kind of the same. It's like it's nothing you should take super personally. It's like I heard a quote that, men are jealous of women because, I forgot how the quote goes, but something like women have the ability to bring life and men don't. And is womb the envy. I don't know how true this is. I don't necessarily dream of being able to give birth to a child. But, maybe there is some truth in that. And the reason why, men have always, pursued, feats of knowledge and, feats that are out of biology or, out of your, out of, your physicality, that's the reason why, you know. And this isn't just for men, because like even a lot of women nowadays, they even a lot of women, they go to college, want to get education, they want to, you know, I don't want to say be like a man, but yeah, be like a man, and learning different skills and stuff. They don't just want to be, in the house taking care of babies. A lot of women, they're about that life. So whatever like is being pushed, or whatever our way of life is, if we feel less about ourselves, we're gonna try to make it up with something. And this leads to another point. We need to acknowledge that we're all evil in a sense. There's no one. And if you watch or read Vinland Saga, there's a quote that the main character Thorfinn said. It's like, I think he says something like, "There is no enemy. We have no enemies." And yeah, that quote really stuck out to me. I'm probably butchering the quote, but I'll put it in the comment section or in the description. But yeah, that quote really stood out to me. It's like, we really don't have any enemies. It's like we're all kind of the same. We're unique in certain ways, but whether you're a man or a woman, it's like we're mostly the same. I think we all do want some level of intimacy. And if some part of our physicality takes away from that ability to have intimacy, it's like, yeah, we do get frustrated. If you were Chad, okay, and you had your dick cut off, okay, or your balls cut off or something like that, or something happened to you that, or something happened to your face, or let's say your face magically shrunk, okay, and you started to look more like an incel. Let's say something crazy like that happened. It's like, okay, yeah, he's not able to attract women if looks are the sole source, or he magically got shorter. It's like, yeah, he probably would be frustrated. He might be a bit frustrated, and he would have to cope with another, reason. If a woman, let's say if a woman like had her, her face burned or something, and or her, yeah, her looks are rapidly fading, and her body, decays, and not decays, but like, if this happened at a rapid rate, yeah, she probably would be frustrated if, her reproductive organs suddenly didn't function properly. Like, yeah, that would frustrate you. It's like, we're all inherently the same. It's like, it's understandable why people feel like this. And this is why you don't have enemies. You gotta acknowledge that we all have good and bad, okay? And humans, for the most part, according to religion, we're probably more on the evil side of things. Yeah, we might all be a little bit evil, but that's the reason why we shouldn't be so animate on one-upping the next person, or being better than said person, or getting revenge, or trying to be somebody. It's like we're kind of all a bunch of nobodies. And I'm not saying to just constantly deny yourself. You acknowledge that this was the way you feel, but you could channel it to a better version of yourself. Maybe I'm not making much sense, but you know, it's like this doesn't mean that I think that all women should settle down for, undesirable, unattractive men. If you believe that, if well, if you really, if you're a woman watching this and you feel as if 99% of men are straight up ugly, I mean, okay, like, you have the right to feel like that, all right? You have the right to feel like that, but don't just, lay around waiting for your Prince Charming to come. You know, prove the theory. I guess you don't have to prove the theory wrong, but if you're a guy and you're constantly stressed out that you're seen as ugly to most women, I mean, you got to ask yourself how much women do you interact with on a daily basis? How much women do you talk to? Like, don't worry about choosing signals, okay? Like, you're the man. You're supposed to be the one who's the go-getter. Like, if you call yourself a man, okay, you should try to be more of a go-getter. It probably is natural to be somewhat shy, okay? But it's like earlier this day when I was getting off of work, I saw this woman that I found extremely beautiful. Like she was tall, like she had curves all in the right places, had a nice pretty face. And yeah, I went up and I started talking to her. I started approaching her. I told her that she was beautiful. I asked her for her Instagram. I'm not gonna cold approach and ask for numbers. That's just really, even I feel uncomfortable with that. Like, I feel uncomfortable for the person. It's like I don't think that's a good way to go about it. But Instagram is more, innocent, I guess. And, we had a little conversation. She was cool about it. She didn't get all crazy or anything. It's like people think that women are gonna go crazy. It's like that probably does happen, but I think it's really rare. Because I've cold approached plenty of women. It's like that's not really the case. Or I don't want to say cold approach, but like, yeah, it's like I've approached women in a suggestive manner per se. Anyway, it's like they don't always come off as hostile. If they do, they're probably crazy. It's like, yeah, they're probably crazy. It's like no, they're gonna respond to you in a mild manner. For the most, yeah, they're gonna respond to you in a mild manner. And I had a nice little conversation. She said she had a boyfriend, and we ended at that. But it was nice. Like, it was nice. I'm glad I got to talk to her. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say. I've been rambling for too long. God bless.